Good afternoon, Jason. How are you today?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have a couple of questions to ask you this evening.
Okay.
First, I want to ask you a little bit about yourself. Do you currently work?
I do currently work.
Where do you work? Tell me a little bit about.
I work at Vidant Medical Center, and I work for the LIFT team, and we are essentially, we work under rehab, and we're moving patients, ambulating them throughout the day, reducing pressure ulcers, keeping them turned, and whatnot.
Okay. Do you enjoy your work?
I enjoy a lot of the aspects of it. I enjoy helping patients. I think we overall save the hospital a lot of money, but I mean, it's not a end career goal, but
right.
I do enjoy it to some part, doing
Great.
some good in the world.
All right. So speaking of your end career goals, what would that be?
Who knows? It keeps going, right? I mean, why stop?
Right.
So, yeah, why stop in one place? Keep going.
Yes.
Change it up.
Are you planning on going back to school?
Oh, yes. I am actually in August. I start the Masters of Public Health program. I'll be focusing on epidemiology, and that's a 2-year program, and kind of keeping my options open as school progresses and see what doors that opens up as well.
That sounds great. What would you say is the main thing that you get out of your work and your future studies?
My current work? Or?
Current. We'll go current work.
Okay, I think my current work, there is sort of a personal satisfaction that I get from we get to go into patients' rooms, and they might be laying there all day with the lights out and watching TV, and I mean, some of our patients are sitting alone all day long, and you get to go in there and kind of make jokes with them. And
right.
I work a lot in the ICUs as well, so even when people are immobile, intubated, all sorts of medical conditions and a lot of pain and that sort of thing, you can still sort of reach through all of that and kind of connect to that human connection and kind of, I don't know, I do a lot of humor. I like to deal with them a lot.
Sounds like you really enjoy that patient interaction.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. It's meaningful work.
Would you say, what kind of worker would you say that you are?
What are my choices? No.
Open-ended question?
Yeah, so I think I'm a very independent kind of worker. I enjoy being part of a team, but I also really enjoy just sort of knowing what the project is and kind of setting about doing my own, I guess going about my work in my own way.
Right.
I don't necessarily like a lot of interruptions and that sort of thing, and I think I would like to think that I take a leadership role, especially when I'm working with people that, co-workers that have less experience and that sort of thing. And I like to kind of sort of place myself in like a teaching role, I guess, because I'm pretty fascinated with a lot of stuff that's going on medically and in a lot of different ways.
Is a leadership role within like a team setting?
More. I think it's more one-on-one. That's really more my connection with people. I think in general is just kind of one-on-one, and I guess I like to kind of play the role as mentor just a little bit, but at the same time, I only do that because I think I'm such a student myself, and I'm always asking other people questions. And I definitely think that's kind of the role that I take at work.
So let's talk about some of your other roles in your life. So we talked about your role as a worker and then your future role as a student. So what about, do you have, in addition to your work and your studies, is there anything else that takes up a lot of your time that is really important to you?
Cooking. I absolutely love making food. It's kind of my therapy. In fact, I enjoy kind of a combination of just playing music very loud and just not really talking much and just being in the kitchen, enjoying even having some fine beers or a nice glass of wine and just making really good food. I think that more and more over the years has kind of become my own personal therapy, my own personal meditation just through the process and that sort of thing. But I have lots of hobbies, but that's probably, it looks like that over the years, that's kind of been the one that's developed the most.
So that's kind of something that's developed over the years, and that's something that you
I think so. Yeah, I mean,
came out.
I mean, I thought I was, I wanted to be a rock star. I mean, I played guitar and lots of instruments, and I was always very passionate about those things, and I was always very passionate about artwork and drawing and painting, and I think art was always, in all its forms, was always very important in my family, and it's just interesting to me that over the years, somehow the cooking kind of became more of the way that I express that creative process or something. So, yeah, surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any other roles that you are important to that you want to share?
Well, there's always, roles as far as being a boyfriend, roles being a dog owner. I have 2 dogs, dog father, yeah, dog father. Absolutely. I think that's, that definitely occupies a lot of time,
right.
Trying to handle 2 dogs and sort of maintain a consistent environment, which doesn't always come naturally to me, but that's I think that's my life at this point in time. There's other roles. There's other roles that I have, I'm sure, but.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your daily routine.
Okay.
So describe a typical day during the week.
As far as a work day or just a...
Well, I guess, what is your work schedule?
So I work 12-hour shifts at the hospital. So that typically is about 3 days out of the week. And so my typical work day, I wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock, jump in the shower, get ready for work, drive 2 minutes over to Vidant, and then walk about another 2 minutes because the parking lot, is pretty far away. But so hopefully it's not raining in the mornings. And go into work, grab a cup of coffee, walk back to home base. We sort of see how we're going to work the day out with our patients. We split off into teams, and we do a lot more walking. And we walk all over Vidant Hospital. Someone actually clocked I think an average day for us was somewhere around 9 miles a day.
Wow.
In a 12-hour period. And then, so essentially we do 2-hour rounds. So we have particular floors that we do as a given team, 2 people. And we'll go through to each of our rooms, and we'll turn patients. We'll get them in chairs. We'll, using lift equipment, using, in some cases, just a gait belt and moving patients. And we basically just go room to room to room as far as the patients that we're following. And when that's done, we, we'll take a little break, and just, I guess, due to the physical activity and also the duration of the day, being a 12-hour day, we do kind of take a couple breaks throughout the day and kind of recuperate and feed ourselves and that sort of thing, exactly. So it's kind of a combination of very physical and then kind of just resting up a little bit.
Are you satisfied with that routine?
I mean, it's a little monotonous for me. I tend to always kind of my mind's always moving, and I always like to be learning and progressing. And so, as I said before, it's not really a career, like an end career goal or anything. Of course, I still view it as a learning opportunity, not necessarily every day, but oftentimes, I would say many days I'm there and I get to see a lot of really fascinating things. I get to, I'm a question asker, so I'm constantly asking people, like, why do you do that? Or what's this? Or what's this button do? No. But, just kidding. But, no, I mean, there's always, there's just so much to be learned if you seek it out, I guess. And so that's definitely an aspect that I do enjoy. as I said, there is like a monotonous
Mhm.
part of the job
Mhm.
too that, you know, for me is not so enjoyable.
Right.
But it's tolerable as well.
Mhm. Does that routine allow you to do the things that you say are important to you?
And what do you mean? Like,
We talked about some of your roles that you are taking.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You enjoy, or is that routine still conducive to you?
yeah, I
getting
think
done those
yeah,
things?
I think so, and especially I'm the kind of person I enjoy kind of knowing a position from the ground up and growing very comfortable with it to allow me to do other things
Right.
like talking to people and asking
Mhm.
questions or sharing, you know, my own personal diagnoses on patients that we see and things like that, you
Right.
know, or yeah, I think so. I think so at times. Not everyone, you know, my coworker, the person I'm teamed up with, you know, they're not always someone who's receptive to that sort of thing.
Right.
So I kind of will sort of know that ahead of time, or
Mhm.
just through field and stuff. But there's also a lot of guys there that, you know, we definitely get into some really good dialogues
Mhm.
about, you know, about medical or, you know, anything that's going on.
Right.
So,
It sounds like you take that as a learning experience. And
Absolutely.
definitely make the
Absolutely.
best of your
Yeah.
routines. That's
Absolutely.
great. How long minutes is that?
Time.